You are listening to the BlahCade podcast. I am your host, Chris Freebus, aka Shut Your Trap. Joining me as always, halfway across the world, Jared Morgan.
G'day, Chris. How's it going, mate?
It's going well. So, folks, we're at that time of year where schedules suddenly get very difficult. So we're recording. Yes. On a Tuesday, when normally that'd be the release day.
Well, not lately because I've been really slack and usually push it about Friday. My Friday, so US Thursday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to have to really pull my finger out. And well, as we talk about in the show, I've got other things on at the moment, right?
Other things.
But we'll talk about that later.
Yes, we will. So yeah, our podcasting schedule might get a little sketchy over the next couple of weeks, just in terms of
fragmented.
Yeah, whether we have anything to talk about or if there's news. I mean, we might bring in an emergency session, but with when we normally record on the weekends and the holidays are right there on the weekend. Well, I guess actually it's on Monday is Christmas, huh? With Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I'll be up on the coast. Right. Yeah, I think we're actually going up to Mooloolaba, which is about 40 minutes up the road.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely to stay up to the in-laws. So yeah, we won't be doing any podcasting on that weekend.
Yeah, no. So there you go, folks. It's gonna be there's gonna be some gaps, but that's okay. We did that last year, and it was all good too.
Yeah, no one missed us that much.
Not that much. Not terribly much. Hey, I went and saw the new Star Wars Last Jedi. Seen it twice now.
What do you think of that?
Well, I rather enjoyed it. There is I was up until, I don't know, 1:30 or 2 in the morning in a Facebook argument with somebody that I don't even know about the movie. And
that's always a good use of your time.
Yeah, it was a great use of my time. There is a whole subset of people out there that hate the movie. And it's fascinating the degree with which they hate it, and it's, in my mind, completely unfounded. And it's more a case, and folks, I'm not going to go into bit one of spoiler here, so I'm be speaking in very broad generalities, but the main gist that I'm getting is people went in with certain expectations of what this movie should be, i.e. they expected another Empire Strikes Back. And when it didn't follow the mold, and I think they got that impression because with The Force Awakens kind of being very similar to A New Hope in terms of what went on and pacing, I think they expected that same thing out of Empire. And when that didn't happen, they became very angry.
And Chris, is it the same director that's done both, or is it a different director?
No, this is Ryan Johnson. J.J. Abrams will be back for the third one. He wasn't originally supposed to be back for the third one. It was supposed to be Colin Trevorrow, who did Jurassic World, but then they realized that he didn't really know what he was doing. And,
yes.
You got to be able to work within the mold that is, Disney's got their mold for the Marvel movies. They've got their mold for the Star Wars movies. So you got to be able to fit into it. But so it's just, I went to a 9:30 a.m. showing and IMAX 3D on release day. I went with my buddy.
Yep.
Who I really need to stop going to movies with him because he hates everything. And no, I'm not kidding. It's like the last two Alien movies. No, hate him. No, he claims he's a big Alien fan. Here I am wearing an Alien shirt today. When in truth, I always argue you like Aliens and that's it. You don't like any of the other Alien movies. And he's a big military-minded guy. So if he starts seeing tactical planning that doesn't meet his criteria, he's out. And it's like, dude,
you guys know I'm tapping out here.
It's like nobody cares, No. But what was weird was that showing was very quiet. Like nobody cheered, nobody laughed, nothing. It was just dead silence for that entire screening. And I didn't know what to chalk that up to. And now I'm thinking it's because this was all the the hardcore fans, and half of them were pissed, and the other half were like, I dare not say that I actually liked it, because then there's going to be a battle. So then I went and saw it.
Battle of the Clones.
Right? So then I went and saw it. My son got invited to a birthday that they were all going to go watch the movie, and parents were invited to. So I went and saw it. And totally different crowd. Like, they cheered, they laughed, they clapped when certain things happened. They were having a good old time.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, that's what I thought
Star Wars is supposed to be about.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Like, it's supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be. It's a space opera. Let's be serious.
Well, it's amazing how people will complain about acting or dialogue, and it's like, have you not seen Star Wars? I'm sorry, it's full of terrible acting and terrible dialogue, but that's what we love about it.
That is the Star Wars brand.
Exactly.
Like, it's got to have a certain amount of cheese with your crackers, man.
Exactly.
Like, otherwise.
So anyway, I chalk me up, folks, as one who really thoroughly had a good time. And if you feel like getting into an argument with me, go for it. You can pop on to BlahCade@gmail.com and drop me a note, and we'll battle. or take it to a public forum.
On Facebook. So take it to a public forum so that I don't have to read the email as well, because I have zero fugs to give about that. I heard that, as an aside, the second viewing for a lot of people is often the better viewing for Star Wars.
I was able to, again, even for me, I felt like I went in with no preconceived notions, but having seen the trailer, there was at one point in the movie where I just kind of went, wow, it feels like the movie's winding down, but man, we haven't even seen this thing from the trailer that I know was going to take up at least 20 minutes. And so there was kind of that, and like you would hear lines of dialogue that you heard from the trailer, and you're like, yeah, see, I was right. Those two people weren't staring at each other when that dialogue was said, that kind of thing. So the second time I was able to just watch it as a movie, but then on the same hand, knowing what was going to happen, I caught little bits of dialogue that totally gave away what was going to come.
Or really?
Certain things. Yeah, it was like, oh, see, you were dropping the nuggets all along. We just didn't know to pick up on them because we didn't realize that was a big nugget. Yeah. So
the second viewing is like, it's like so one of those other movies like The Sixth Sense, for example. If you see that the second time, you go, oh yeah, I see what you were doing there. Oh yes, here we are. Right. Here's a lead into that concept. Yeah. You sort of get to appreciate the structure of the movie a bit more. Yeah.
Yes. And appreciate it more on its own terms. My only argument with the second viewing was that it wasn't as good of a projection as the IMAX was, and I didn't feel that 3D added anything. I'm one of those people that I want my 3D to be fun, therefore I want things poking me in the eye, as well as having a lot of depth. And there's nothing poking you in the eye at all in this movie. But then watching the second viewing, I realized that there were certain, call it background objects or little things that I didn't notice in the 2D version. I mean, like, I was then like, wait, where is, and I'm like looking for it, whereas it really popped in 3D. So there is something to be said about the 3D viewing adding a smidgen. It's certainly not essential, and it doesn't add a lot, but it was.
Sounds like it just adds clarity. Just adds clarity.
Yeah.
Where it's needed. Which I don't know. You could probably argue that is that a fault of the framing of the shot or the digital framing of the shot, because all that stuff would be digital effects, I'd imagine. But that's probably
more that go down. Things are flat. When things are flattened, they blend into a background, as opposed to if it's slightly in front, all of a sudden it's like, ooh, yeah, And I'll give you an example of, just one thing that's totally not spoiling anything. The porgs, the little birdies. Those things are all over the island, and
they're basically,
I noticed them big time. What's that?
They're basically the rats of Star Wars, aren't they? Really?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and in the 2D showing, they didn't, because they kind of blend into the rocks, and they really blended into the rocks in 2D. So I mean, that was one of those things where it was just like they just popped a little bit more, and there's all sorts of little elements like that out there.
Just a little bit more visual weight in the context of the movie. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So anyway,
good.
That's all I'll say about that until more people have seen it. And then who knows? I probably won't need to say anything beyond that.
Yeah, I just need to accidentally walk into a cinema sometime this week and just go and see it, because otherwise I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
We usually have a pretty long season here in Australia, but I think I need to see it earlier if I'm going to even have a chance of seeing it in 3D. With all the Christmas stuff coming out, all the Christmas releases.
Yeah. Speaking of releases,
well, that's all very interesting. Yes.
Zen,
what else has been released?
Zen surprised everybody. So I said that when they'd done the Twitch stream of Adventureland, and they were then going to be doing the Twitch stream of Son of Hercules the following week, and I'd kind of guessed, they'll probably release it before Christmas. And not only did they release it before Christmas, but they gave it to everybody for free. Which was like
Steam, yes.
Well, on consoles and Steam. They're not available on Android or iOS yet. I mean, you can buy the table, you have to buy it, but not for free. And according to Zen, that's because it's not under the Pinball Effects 3 banner.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Which, look, it's fair enough. Again, the tables I think were actually priced a little bit lower than they would normally have been on Zen Pinball 2. So I think they tried to help us out a little bit by giving a little bit, like giving the tables to a little bit less than normal, which honestly, they're still like $2 a table. So
yeah,
I'm actually okay with that because I've got to say, they're not bad for a original theme table, right?
Yeah, they both have their pluses and minuses.
I know which one's my favorite though, but I'd like to hear what you think about that.
Well, I will say right off the bat that my favorite, or what I'm leaning more towards right now, is definitely Son of Zeus.
Totally.
And the reason I say that is there are some insane lighting effects going on that table, and there's also weather, which is way cool.
Yeah, those lightning bolts, far out.
Yeah, lightning
bolts.
Even
mobile, they look good.
Yeah, the lightning bolts zap your ball. There's wind that all of a sudden takes your ball away, and it doesn't feel like it's a magnet either. It feels like wind is blowing against the ball and pushing it up, somewhere. And it is also, you can stack every single mode on top of itself, which just causes mass chaos on the screen.
I didn't know that. That's very cool. They basically done a Jersey Jack with this table and made basically a crazy table, because it even looks a little bit like it has the same something like Lord of the Rings, like the Jersey Jack Lord of the Rings sort of feel.
Yeah,
I feel like it, like that volcano. And the way you interact with that, I was so annoyed, Like, I got to the point where I woke up the volcano god, then I drained the ball, I couldn't do anything. Oh, come on. But it's one of those ones that if I had more time, I'd just go, I have to play this again now. I've got to do it.
Well, it's interesting, too, because if you drain the ball, the mode still is active sometimes, I've noticed.
Sometimes, yeah. It was on my last ball. It would have been fine. But, I dipped out. That's fine. I'll just play it again.
My complaint with the table would be the inserts aren't clear enough about what they are, what they do. They're kind of far away, and you can't really read the detail. And there's this whole thing of there's a four bank drop targets that spells gods. Goes down, and then sinking the ball into the hole there, you collect a god. And I've twofold. A, I don't know what the heck collecting the gods does. I think it adds multi-balls, but I'm not sure. Two, you never know who you've collected. Like, there's nothing on the table itself for inserts that light up so that you know who you or how many you have. Because then once you put it in there, you're given the option: start multi-ball, collect more gods. Well, I want to know how many gods there are to collect. I want to know how far I am away from having a full tilt. So.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I did it. I sort of just went, no, I'm not gonna. I've been listening to a lot of the head-to-head pinball podcast, talk about the Lyman share. It's very much risk and reward. And this sounds like one of those risk and reward tables. Like, oh, do I just like cash in my multiple now, or do I collect more odds and go for a at the end? So this is a very interesting play by Zen here from a rules perspective and from a table offering perspective.
Yes.
And I kind of really like the way they're going with it. It's got a lot of promise.
Yeah, so I after playing a few games of Utter Chaos, I wound up trying to aim my shots. And that's when I truly noticed that, oh yeah, you can stack, you can get one mode going, and then, oops, I hit a stray ball up this ramp. Oh shoot, I just started a second mode. And so that's where I noticed that, yeah, you can stack these things and get multiple things going on at the same time. They showed in a video, it was during the Twitch stream, they got into wizard mode, and absolutely every mode starts at the same time. And it is just visual insanity.
That is bonkers.
It is, I mean, and I forget how many pinballs wind up being on the table at the same time, too. It's something, I think it might be 8 or so. I mean, it is just nuts. And there's all these lighting effects and weather effects and everything. It's just craziness.
Man, I've got to get up to that. I've got to get some time on this thing and just get a good, solid thrashing. My
other gripe, and it's not a huge one, but it doesn't stop talking. And what the problem that I have with that is that you hit a particular ramp shot, and all of a sudden the person, it's one of two voices. It's either Hercules talking, or it is, I want to say Medusa or Hera. I'm not sure which. But anyway, it'll be like you go up a ramp shot, and all of a sudden she'll be like, oh, you've now visited my birds who will come down and swoop it. And you're like, yeah, I'm done already. I'm already doing 2 more ramps. It's like we need quick call outs, not these long, gigantic sentences. Because then I started not really being able to associate where the noise was, what ramp I hit to cause what sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think they sometimes when they're doing sound call outs and things like that in Zen, they tend to over narrate them.
Yeah.
And that is a problem. Like they really need to like reference tables in the wild and go, right, how do they communicate back to the user or the player what they're doing? And really the reason why it's basically little stings is what you're looking for when you do a ramp. Like,
yeah,
like let's look at No Fear, for example, where it's like, you shoot a ramp and it says, do it again. And it just like that feedback loop that you need to go, oh, I need to do that again. Like that's what you need in pinball. You don't need just for someone to start telling you a story while you're actually shooting a ramp, right?
Well, you think about when you shoot a bear ramp in Addams Family, that whoa sound lasts exactly the length of time it takes for the ball to travel.
Correct. It is genius the way they engineer the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. It is distracting to an extent, isn't it? When they do that.
Yeah. Son of Zeus is also not remotely possible in the real world table.
Yeah, this is well and truly stuck in the fantasy realm.
Yes.
And it's nice because like lately Zen has been focusing quite a bit on semi-realistic tables in their releases. So it's kind of nice to see a pure Zen storytelling experience like they're all about. And really, within the limitations of regular pinball, telling that story is actually quite difficult. So yeah, going for something of mythology like this is a great fit for let's just go ridiculous and go fully fantasy.
And I mean, there's not even cabinet walls. It's floating it's Mount Olympus basically. It's floating out there in the world. So anyway, that's Son of Zeus. Flip over to Adventureland. Adventureland is very doable, I would say, in a real world setting.
Yeah, potential to be doable. That double loop roller coaster ramp would be interesting. You need an accelerator magnet on it for sure, but
something,
feasibly possible.
But I mean, all the toys on it. All the toys are very much doable for the most part. And the back box game feels very much like it would be for a real table. So it's got that going for it. The thing that annoys me with it is it's got their bad voice actor people. And it's
Predator voice actors.
What's that?
The Predator voice actors.
Yes, exactly. The guy and the gal, and it's just
That's why I like that table. I played a little bit, and I went, okay, fine. And then I went over to Zeus and went, this is what we're talking about.
Right.
And I just completely forgot about the other one. Like, I don't know. It seems to just be late enough, honestly, to actually form an opinion.
The other problem that I have with the table is it's so crowded with stuff. You quickly get distracted and aren't able to actually see what it is you're supposed to be doing. And it wasn't I had to finally do a table, pause the game and do a table flyover and look at the table itself and see what shots are possible, where goes where. Because I need to find like the ticket booth. I had no clue where the ticket booth was, and now I know where it is.
I couldn't tell you where it was either. I was just shooting around.
It's actually dead center at the very top. But the point is that you kind of go, you're not even aware that the ticket booth is important, because you would have to have read the DMD in order to understand that, you need to buy a ticket in order to activate this mode. And you know how Zen's DMD business is.
And because the DMD is rolling by at 3 times speed, the normal speed you can actually crop things. Why do they do this? Just slow the animations down, guys.
So it took me a little while to kind of figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. And once I figured that out, the game was a little more fun to play. But then I got into this thing. There is I think they call it the Sky High. And it's on the left-hand side of the table near the top. And it's basically a twirly ride, you might say.
Spinning chair ride, right?
Yeah, spinning chair ride. There you go. So I activated it, and it went up, and I hit a shot, and all of a sudden the table zooms in on it, and you're told, use the flippers to launch the ball. And I was like, I don't even know where the ball is, and what am I launching? Where am I? I thought the ball was in the spinning chair, and I was trying to launch it off the spinning chair, and instead it turns out that no, it was actually in the play field. And
that round and round thing.
Yes.
A what? That's insane.
Yeah, so the spinning chair goes, and the ball launches out from the bottom of the table, and you got to time it so as the chair's coming around, the ball hits the chair and gets locked in the chair, and so you can lock 4 balls that way. But you don't know how many games it took me to figure that out.
That's ridiculous. The other thing I don't know too much about is that what they call it, the Ulysses thing that spins in the back middle. How the hell do you use that?
You basically there's a lit up line. It's for those that don't know, it's a car that is basically going to be going around and around and around in circles in a very tight loop, and your pinball is in this car. And so there's a lit up line of lights, and when the nose of the car hits that, you hit your flippers, and that acts as like an accelerator, and that spins it around one time. And if you mistime it, then the car doesn't do the full loop, and it just rocks back into place, and then your ride is over.
Yeah, I've got like about 1 loop, I think. Because I have no way. Again, the stupid instructions in this game.
Yeah.
They just don't give you the level of detail you need in a timely manner. Like they just they really need to adjust that timing. It really makes for a bad gameplay experience on it. It's not fun at all.
Well, and it's where, again, the whole game should pause. The DMD should tell you exactly what you're supposed to do, and then it's going to say, "Ready, go," and then you go. Think about on Championship Pub when you do jump rope. The DMD tells you what
exactly. Exactly. That's what we need in moving forward. They need to actually explain the toys better, because they don't at the moment. They just assume it's so intuitive because it's got themes, and it's not. So that's why I think I'm not liking that game, because there's just too many intricacies of the table that are poorly explained. Enjoy it until you actually know it, I shouldn't need
Yeah,
to
I
go
still
and read
haven't.
the tutorial and listen to the tutorial to understand how the game works. I should be able to walk up to a game and just play it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because like down at the bottom of the right above your flippers, there's insert lights that I believe say free ride. I have no idea how to light those. I have no idea what happens when you light those. Um, or if once
And
you
I'm
light
sure the
them all, what's
instructions
gonna
will tell you. It's not
right,
intuitive, right?
right, but it's not intuitive. On Hercules, I believe each time you hit a mode, you light a letter of his name. I'm
Okay.
not 100% positive on that, but I think that's the case. But again, a simple DMD instruction saying completion of a mode lights a letter of Hercules. Done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe
I think
normally
in
we
some
get that
way,
from the instruction card that is on a real table.
and this is what I was actually thinking about. Like, there should be a way to call up the instruction card for basic gameplay tips when you're learning this table. Like, it almost should just flash up. Like, you know how Pinball Arcade does the table overview with the history of the game and stuff when you first load the table. It
Yeah.
should almost present something like that that allows you to quickly tap through like 4 or 5 of the key features of the game, and then give you a quick video, like a 2-second video run through of the key shots you need to make to do those things, and then let you get into the game. And then let you do that tutorial, that quick start tutorial, I think I'd like to call it, at any point, so you can learn it if you forget it. Like that would just be such a good user experience if they did that.
I mean, it's not hard to call up the instructions. You pause the game, you go into options, and you put, table instructions, and then you can read through them. But I don't. I think you're the same way. Typically, you walk up to a table and you just start bashing around with it, and
Absolutely.
hope that you're going to figure some things out. And then, when you want to know more, you start actually reading other things. But with Zen tables, that's almost the surest way to not enjoy their table.
Well, that's it.
You know,
I don't know, maybe we as consumers we're kind of mixing the lines between pinball and video game here. Like maybe the idea with Zen, it'd be interesting to actually hear some of the guys from Zen comment on this. So I might flag them in the podcast to see if they want to respond. But I feel that sometimes you actually need to get that, almost like read the game manual, like you would normally with a video game, to understand that the particular things, the features in that table, and understand how to play. So I'm just wondering if like each table is kind of like a mini video game within itself, rather than a pinball machine, in the way that it's supposed to be intuitively understood by the game player. Maybe tutorial is actually something that needs to be given more, I guess, weight when you're actually using Zen somehow. Like, to say, it would really be a good idea if you just took 5 minutes to familiarize yourself with the tutorial, because you're going to enjoy the game a lot more if you do. And if they said that at the beginning of the onboarding for each new table, that might actually be better than just going, here's a table, have fun. Oh, and also there's instructions, but you've got to go into a menu to get those.
Right.
It might be nice to actually have that information a little bit more in the user experience. And I think for me, that would actually make me go, okay, it's important enough that they've actually gone, you might want to read the instructions first. As a user, that says to me, well, perhaps I should actually give this a little bit more time than just going in and playing initially.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Food for thought.
All I know is that in the matter of 2 months, Zen has now dropped 5 tables.
Yeah, pretty solid. And let's be serious. Let's just take pause for a minute. These tables are actually free for those who got onto it early. So really, regardless of what the tables are or aren't, or how they present the instructions, that's pretty good value.
Yeah.
Right? So
I would say so.
So thank you. So thanks, Zen, for at least giving them to the console communities, because Christmas presents are good. We'll wait on mobile for now until you merge the titles. Please just merge Zen 2 into Zen 3. It just stop branching them out. I
Well,
know
that was what I
you're
noticed.
probably planning on doing it, but just do it.
That was what I noticed with. My wife gave me my Christmas present early, which wound up being an iPhone 7 Plus, and so now I have a screen that's big enough that I can actually play pinball on, and more importantly, I have enough memory that I can actually have tables on it.
Kind of handy, yeah.
Yeah, it does come in handy. And the thing that bugs me with Zen right now is like you can get for free. You were able to get basically Empire Strikes Back, in the Star Wars, but it was in the Star Wars app. It's not in the Zen app. You can play all 3 Alien tables for free, but it's only in the Alien app. It's none of it transfers over to the Zen app.
Mm-hmm.
So I wind up having, and plus they have their esports app. So I've got like 4 different Zen apps.
Yeah.
Now this is because I haven't bought anything on for the phone. I mean, it's certainly different.
If you want free, you get them fragmented. If you want them all in one place, you pay for it.
I guess.
Simple. Yep.
But even still, it would be nice for it to just all finally be under one app completely and be done, and you can erase all the other stuff.
It would. You can do that. You just got to pay for them. You can absolutely do that, Chris. You've got to spend some money there, mate. So go do that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine. I was just posting about the podcast here on our Twitter feed, and lo and behold, I see an announcement from Stern about Guardians of the Galaxy, and they've got 2 new songs. So they just added in.
Oh yes.
I Want You Back from Jackson 5 and Ain't No Mountain High Enough from Marvin Gaye.
Ooh, very nice. It sounds like they're licensing them as they get approvals for them.
It sounds like it. Sounds like it. So
there's
now
actually
there's 4
another theory out about that where they're actually trickle feeding the songs as like wow, look how good we are with answering the community feedback. Whereas really they've been negotiating these for the last 8 or 9 months, and they're trickle feeding, releasing them out.
I would buy that.
There's that as well.
Yeah,
I would totally buy that because Stern. Oh, look how good we are! We're actually just stage releasing all the music,
right,
to make us look really Fig Jam.
yeah. Maybe once all the music is out, then we can. That's when you'll know that the code is finally finished.
That could be actually. That's a very good point. Exactly.
So,
just complete last songs in. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we part ways, because we don't have that much to talk about this week, but Jared does. Go for it, Jared.
Yeah, I do. So I have got someone has taken me up on my kind offer to store pinball machines. So in this particular case, I've got another one that I'm going to do up a bit for the guy who I did the Jackster Open for. It's well and truly out of room in his warehouse, and he needs somewhere to house this thing. And it's a bit of a long tail restoration on it, but he is looking at keeping it at place for an extended period of time. So this one is an interesting title. It's Star Race by Gottlieb. Now, Star Race is a low-run Gottlieb. There was only 800 of these produced. And as I found out, it's actually a rather sought-after title because of its scarcity. So I'm got a bit of a sleeper here in the house. It's pinball machine, so one that's been imported in from Africa. So that means that the cabinet is really quite rough. But this playfield on this one is probably the best I've seen out of all of the African pins. There doesn't appear to be very much playfield damage on it at all. I think we might have some slight lifting of insert numbers and stuff like that.
But no planking.
But from no planking. No, the underside of the playfield where all the bits are attached, in very good conditions. There's only a couple of scorch marks from some coils that have gone bad. And the top of the playfield, because there aren't any cooked coils, hasn't suffered from heat damage or any sort of burn through. So all the art is looking really quite good. The plastics are in really good condition. So yeah, it's a very interesting game. This particular game, you know how there's Gottlieb wide bodies, then there's Gottlieb super wide bodies.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of those. Basically, it's 1.5 pinballs in one.
It's a square.
It is quite literally. This thing is. It's like a little. I think Genie is of the same ilk.
Yeah, Genie's huge.
As and this is the same. It's got a lot of real estate on this playfield. It's got 2 vary targets. It's got a total of 8 drop targets. It's got a very interesting board path in the top left-hand corner where the ball loops back on itself and comes back down. I think it's got one of the longest shots in pinball as well, as from the left-hand side of the playfield to the right into the upper loop area. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting looking table. The art's really nice and it's very green, of course, because it's a sea theme, but it's sort of strange. It's sort of like a space sea theme. It's very green. But it looks really nice. The back glass, unfortunately, is in terrible shape. But I'm thinking I'll just get a translite printed up for it on there. I'm not really too concerned, to be perfectly honest. Like the back glasses aren't something I really focus on. It's all in the playfield for me. So
yeah.
So the boards are actually with a guy at the moment getting completely shopped. So they're being worked on, which is good because it'll be then basically factory fresh again.
Yeah.
So it should be really quite reliable. I think the ground mod that all Gottliebs kind of will need to be done as well on it, but that's fine. That really is something you need to do when you get all the boards together. You need to link them together with the ground.
Okay.
But from a missing bits perspective, which is often a bit of a problem with these Africans, I've only noticed one. There's a bracket that the slingshot mechanism would be on. So that's missing, but I know where I can get one of those very cheap. So
nice.
No problems with that at all. Everything else is complete. I'm just missing some flipper parts on one of the flipper bats. All the other flipper parts are being Gottlieb, pretty solid.
Yeah.
So Gottlieb flipper. Yeah. Pinball Resource has stuff. So yeah. I'm going to. Well, they've got the rights to produce all the stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they've got heaps of parts. I mean, the guy that I've got this from has a ready stock of Gottlieb parts because they deal in a lot of Gottliebs there. So I'm just probably going to go through him because Pinball Resource as an international customer is just a punish. Like you've got to do a small order because it's weird. The guy will actually, you pay when you receive the parts.
Yep.
It's really weird. So from an international perspective, of course, I totally understand this. He's like, oh, maybe just do like a rubber order. Like order a rubber kit. I'll make sure you're good, and then go nuts. Basically, I'll send you whatever you need.
Right.
But look, for the amount of parts I'd need to order for this to get it working for the bloke, like we're talking. I reckon I'll probably get like an entire set of parts, including strokes and everything, rubber kit, everything for like $300 from this bloke.
Oh, nice.
Pay the money and just get everything basically. Probably new drop targets, everything. So we'll work out a price, and get it done. But it's a beautiful looking table. I've got to say, it's very slick.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's going to be busy. Oh man, I've actually got the bottom of the cabinet off at the moment because naturally the supply, but the bottom is chipboard, and being an African, it's rotted completely. So yesterday was just putting a hammer through it and ripping it out, and I've got it down to a layer of 2-ply around all the edges. So I put in a new 15mm sheet of MDF or ply into that space, and it's going to be really nice and tight.
Okay.
Like a whole pile of construction adhesive on there, and really get it back to secure again because it's pretty wobbly at the moment. It's fun. Like, I think it's going to be fun to do this one up. I have heard though with this particular era of pinball is that everything is lead paint.
Yeah.
So you've got to be pretty careful.
From what I hear, it's lead paint all the way through the 90s.
Yeah, because commercially, you're right, actually, because commercially, I think in the US they banned lead paint for home use, but for commercial use there was no limitation on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's lead everywhere. I don't quite know what to do about it because the cabinet, of course, is planked and looks like crap.
Right.
I might just spray a bit of clear over it, like clear coat 2-pack, but just like varnish, like spray varnish. Just
I mean,
if
you're not sitting there trying to, make it absolutely piano smooth, then who cares? The guys that are having to do that sanding job, they're wanting it to be this, basically a new car. So if you're not doing that, just varnish it and be done with it.
Yeah, I'll just give it a really, really light sand, probably like the vacuum cleaner there sucking up all the dirt while I'm doing it.
Right.
And that will probably get rid of a whole lot of the risk with the lead paint.
Yeah.
And then I'll just put a clear coat over it, and then I can just use acrylics.
Yep.
To go over the clear coat and just touch it up, and then put another layer on the top. Job's done, right?
Ta-da!
Like I don't really care.
Yeah.
The playfield, not sure. It might be a candidate that it could do with a clear, but I don't have the equipment to do it. I don't even know if you can get 2-pack in aerosol or not. But
I've heard people have. The only issue that anybody says with the aerosol is that you can't control the spray. You know what I mean? It might all of a sudden sputter. It might, that's the only issue with the cans, as opposed to if you had it with a compressor. But you also figure what you're spraying is such quick shots that it might not even be an issue at all. It might be there's where you get your candidate for getting a board out and having a go and just trying it out and seeing what happens before doing the real thing.
The wood and having a shot with it. I mean, that'd be a really inexpensive way of trying it.
Yeah.
I might end up doing it. I mean, I
know a guy that he did the paint on lacquer for his Gorgar, and it looked beautiful in the end.
Oh, really? He actually painted it on.
He painted
with
it
a brush.
Well, he didn't. It wasn't 2-part automotive clear. It was just a hard lacquer, like what you would coat your a wood floor with.
I'd be okay with that. Like, I don't really think for this era of pinball, I don't really know if 2-pack is maybe the way to go. I mean, it would look nice, but
yeah, I mean, a lacquer is going to look nice too. And the main thing with clearing is that the colors are going to suddenly pop. So that'll be nice.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I'm good. I think I should at least give it a go. But this thing is something that I can just play around with. So there's no rush. I can just take my time with it.
Yeah.
I really don't have any sort of. I think the only thing that's going to drive me forward is just getting the cabinet done so I can put it on its legs and then have the guy come over and just make sure the boards are actually working all right. Because he's going to come over, install them, or I'm going to pick up the boards, put them in, connect them. Then he's going to drive over because he's got like a truck just full of components.
Oh, okay.
So he can actually do site repairs on boards most of the time. So going to come over and do that. And what he's going to do is, I think part of the warranty, he will verify that all the boards work. So if he turns on the machine and something goes wrong, it's up to him to fix it, basically. So I want him to actually do it. And I think there might be some, in the bottom of the cabinet, how it's got the transformer and the main power spine in the bottom.
Right.
That will be something he'll need to convert to 240 volt line voltage for me, because it's African voltage at the moment. I do not want to stuff with that. Like, nope.
Yeah.
Count me out for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, happy for him to just do that work and get it done really well, and then I know it's going to work really nicely and be a strong contender.
So there you have it, folks.
It's going to be a fun project.
Yeah, you'll be hearing much more about it in our podcast coming up as Jared works his way through it.
He'll be paying you back for all the firepower. to what that you're doing. When I was just going, I got nothing here. I got nothing. Yeah, maybe it'll play.
Yeah, now that I can actually stand for. I can stand for maybe a half an hour with no issues. I might actually be able to start getting back into some stuff.
Just do it slowly. Yeah.
Yeah. If I stand any longer than that, my knee starts kind of locking up on me, and that's not good yet. So.
The good thing is that, you know, for both of us, these are things that we have in our house. They aren't going. They have legs, but they're not going to walk off anywhere. So you know, you can just take your time and do it at your own pace, and there's no one's pressuring you to get it done. So get it done in your own time.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, it's that time, meaning if you want to follow us, do so on Twitter. @BlahCade is the show's handle. If you want to follow myself, I am @ShutYourTraps. Jared is @JaredMorgs. Why don't you go ahead and visit our website, which is BlahCadePinball.com. There you can find past shows as well as show notes and websites. When we talk about websites, links to that kind of business. And as mentioned earlier, you can always drop us an email at blahblahblahcade@gmail.com. Quick note, we did have our Zen tournament with Force Awakens, and I was very disappointed in myself. I didn't make the top 5. I failed by 400,000 points, which is infuriating to me. But it was really hard to get that score to begin with, too. So, oh well. This week, which probably will be over by the time this podcast airs, we are playing Son of Zeus because, hey, it's free, and figured we'd be able to get a lot of people.
Why not? Because it's a great table.
Yes.
And because it's so new, it's actually going to be interesting, right? Because everyone's fresh with this one. Like
right. Nobody should have mastered it yet, I hope.
Oh, maybe Pinball Wiz 45B might have.
He's not playing in our tournaments.
Because he tends to do that.
I don't know. He's like dismissed himself from our tournaments. He played the very first one and not played in since. So
must be busy.
Busy. Lucky him. All right, folks. So until next time, which we don't know when that will be. Thank you so much for listening.
Probably sometime in the new year. We'll see you in the new year, right? Let's agree to that.
Okay, we can definitely agree to that.
Yeah, that we can definitely promise that we'll give you a podcast in the new year sometime. So how about that?
In 2018, there will be, I'll go so far as to say there will be more than 2.
There will be more than 2 podcasts. That's a big claim to make, but let's go with it.
All right.
Yeah. New Year's resolution, big tick.
Yes. Yes. We set big goals here. All right.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
See you later.